Hi everyone. In today's class we spent some time looking at the Constitution and talking about some current global issues and so forth. So I wanted to take a moment and go over the slides with you in case you missed class or wanted to review them, so this video will be available for you. So we started class by answering this question: what does the Constitution do? This is something we talked about last class and we were reflecting on it a little bit. So I would suggest you go back and look at your notes. This should be in your notebook, but we talked about how it really does provide that structure for our government, and we'll see that again here in a moment. From there, we played this game, What Makes You Unique? We'll be playing this game, doing this activity regularly in class, so take the opportunity to complete the Google form that is linked in Canvas. If you haven't had the opportunity, take a moment and fill out that Google form. We talked about current global issues a little bit. We talked about the first presidential debate. We talked about President Trump's nomination for the Supreme Court, and just discussed what some of our predictions were with that, as well as what we saw and what we reflected on in the debate. From there, there's some videos you can watch. We reviewed again, as I was mentioning a moment ago. The Constitution is really this structure for our government, a structure for our country. It is a piece of paper that tells us how the government functions, how it's been divided between the states, what the powers of each branch are, and it's broken down into these 7 different articles. It answers questions like, who makes up the legislative branch? How are they selected? What are their powers? How are they able to restrict other branches? How do they pass laws? And in Article 2, similar questions about who makes up that branch, how they're selected, what are their powers, and so forth. We talked about executive order a little bit and how that's something that we hear used, and we were going to figure out what that meant. The judicial branch, similar questions as well. How can they restrict other branches? What are their powers? How do you reach that? How do you get on to the judicial branch? How are those members selected? To do this and to talk about this, we started a project on the 3 branches. So the purpose of this is for us to be familiar with the whole Constitution. But to start with, you're just going to be an expert on one area. So you're going to do research on one specific area that is assigned to you. To do this, you're going to have a slide that you're going to complete, so one visual presentation to represent your section of the Constitution. And we worked in breakout rooms during class on this. If you're getting this now, you'll just be working at home on it and can certainly ask me any questions as you have them. We spent about 20-25 minutes in class working on this to try to put together that slideshow. We will then be presenting these slides. So if you're uncomfortable presenting, I'm going to ask that you reach out to me so that I know to come up with an alternative for you. And we're all working on the same document, and I'm going to show you that here in a moment. So just make sure to just focus on your slide, not be going to other people's slides. So you are again going to be responsible for one question and one slide. So the question, you'll address your one question on that one slide. Each slide should have no more than 5 bullet points. It should summarize the important details. So it's not going to be every single bit of information you can find, but just the important information to answer your question. And it has to be in your own words. So don't give me a direct copy from something that you found somewhere else. You should have an image in there as well. So make sure to find an image that's associated with it. It should look organized and well laid out. It needs to have your name, and it needs to cite sources in the speaker's notes. So let me show you what this looks like. Depending on the class, we have this slideshow, Understanding Our Constitution Project. It is assigned to a specific course, so you should have got an email with this slideshow sent to you. This one is for my Core 4B. The first slide is just the title slide. Second slide is all of those slide requirements we just talked about. The third slide is an example for you. Okay, so it has my question at the beginning. How are the Supreme Court justices chosen? I have my name on that slide. It then has some bullet points that summarize some of the key points about how Supreme Court justices are chosen. So it's not a whole book, it's just a few key points about it. It has some images that are associated with it, Supreme Court, swearing in, the nomination process, and so forth. And in the speaker's notes, I have the links I used to answer this question. You will see every person has been assigned a slide. So, trying to find one here to show. This one, how does the judicial branch affect your life? Give an example, has been assigned to Victor. So every slide is for a specific student. So if you're just joining us and trying to catch up, you need to find the specific slide associated with your name. And then we spent time in class talking about these, working on these, and they will be ready for next class. If you have any questions, please email me, contact me, or let me know what you might need. Thanks.